Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something, I guess, sort of similar to what I did with the Milo Winter situation, which, while I didn't do an update on it, I have made videos related to that author drama before. But this is sort of adjacent to that, and I'm calling it sort of bookmarks, or bookmarked, where I talk about different book and author drama from threads. So, yeah, also, new setup, trying something different. Hopefully this works. I've got a good, 2 or 3 topics to talk about, so we are going to just jump into it. I'm not going to go too in-depth, because some things I caught pretty much, at the last second, so I don't have everything I need to fully dissect it. Some things I caught while they were happening, and other things I caught briefly, but didn't think much of it. So, we are going to talk about the Emily M. Weinstein situation, the Paul Smith situation, and the My Handbook app. So let's start off with the Emily M. Weinstein situation. Now, as far as I'm aware, she has deleted all social media since, but again, we're not going to fully go in depth on this. It's just little bookmark tabs of things on the bookish and author side of, I guess, the community on social media in general, because I'm pretty sure other people have talked about it elsewhere, but I've mostly seen it on threads. So to start with the Emily M. Weinstein situation, she had initially made a post talking about romantasy, but in the initial post, she misspelled romantasy as romantasy. Someone called her out for it, said, I don't trust authors who can't spell, and she just went off on this person. Multiple replies, to the point where it started getting very concerning. Now, this is going to be a teen spit 18+, so, you have been forewarned. This is not for children. Because when she started going off, she started going off. And it started turning into a very blatantly homophobic rant as well, bringing heated rivalry into it. In one of the comments, she mentioned heated rivalry twice from what I saw in some of the snapshots. A lot of this I saw sort of as it was happening, but the day after through snapshots, because the initial post was removed. But there was one comment I saw that she responded to, where her response almost used unicorns as a homophobic term in regards to heated rivalry, almost implying that she counts heated rivalry as romantasy because she doesn't believe that a male-on-male relationship can exist. The tone is very much there in her responses. And then there was another one where she was like, oh, well, what if I wrote a unicorn dragon fantasy novel with 2 unicorns playing hockey and they're enemies and they end up falling in love with each other. And then she started going on about unicorn, just ejaculation, just really, again, she fully went off on people in the replies, because then more people started responding to her. She just not even quadrupled down. She just fully went off on everyone. Okay, I am adding this in after the fact, because I went back through the Emily Weinstein thing. I completely forgot about the other main issue with her whole tirade. She also called romantasy readers, and essentially fans of heated rivalry on top of that, with her weird obsession with that, she called them the arsler. I completely forgot about that. I was going back through it, and also, I know I say that she removed her social media. I guess maybe she briefly turned it off, because initially I couldn't find anything, but it does seem to be back up. But I think I just like mentally blocked that from my memory. Because, oh my, I forgot she went. Part of the tirade was her calling so many people. She called them the Arsler. Or just, oh, even in her quote unquote apology, her non apology, where she basically said, I'm sorry you felt that way, but I stand by what I said. Yeah, no, she insulted the readers, not just the genre. So, that thought I would throw that in there while I'm talking about this. And in her apology, and I say apology lightly, she again doubled down. And it was very much one of those apologies that was just like, oh yeah, I removed the post because the dragon, what was it? She had like specific names for people that liked romantasy with dragons and unicorns. And it was, let's just say, unicorn and dragon lovers. And it was basically much, I'm sorry I offended you, but this is what I think, and this is what I said, and I stand by it. It was very much that vibe. And at one point, because she did have a book event coming up, one of the replies she gave was essentially egging on anyone who didn't agree with her, being like, I hope you guys show up and protest my book. Like, her book, by the way, the book she was promoting was a memoir regarding climbing. Like a climber. So nonfiction. So the most I could get from this is that she is basically perpetuating the very often seen argument of romantasy, romance in general, being more popular, and that being the issue of why her books aren't selling. It was very much giving that. But from what I could see, she might have been dropped by her publisher. I don't remember exactly. But she eventually just cut her social media, from what I could tell. It's either that or I'm blocked. I don't know, but from what people were saying, she cut her social media. And I haven't heard much about the situation since. But hopefully she has people surrounding her that can sort of reel her in and be like, hey, this is why this happened. Because clearly she wasn't going to take any criticism at all from anyone else. So hopefully she has someone she can trust to listen to that will reel her in. So that was that situation. Also, don't go harassing any authors with the same name. By the way, this goes for all of these topics. Don't go harassing anyone. I know as far as the Emily M. Weinstein situation, there are other authors with the same name or a similar name. Please do not go harassing anyone. So moving on to the Paul Smith situation. He was promoting one of his books. And the promotion, it's not necessarily the cover art. People are calling it the cover art, but from what I've seen, it's the promotion for the book. Because the actual cover art, perfectly fine. I didn't see an issue with the cover art. It has a purple flower on it, text, simple border. The cover art isn't the issue. The issue was the promotional art that not only was AI, but very obviously racist. His book was about a chimp, a anthropomorphic chimp, and her struggles. I vaguely remember it being about her struggles with birth and her body. It's very much his emphasis is on it being her body, her choice. Let's say that, from what I can remember. But right off the bat, I'm not going to show the promo at all, because just trust me when I say it is very blatantly obvious. But the promo is an AI generated, and by the way, the AI generation of it all, that's not even the issue here. The issue is what it generated, what he chose to generate for this book. It showed a very, again, anthropomorphized female chimp with an afro. And looking more into the book, the chimp itself, like the chimp character, has a very African name. So again, doubling down on it's very obviously leaning this way, but he claims that, and not even just claimed once, in his own defense, he has doubled down that he, A, doesn't understand what about the promo, or the book in general, comes off as racist. 2, he doubles down on it being a cultural thing because he is Canadian. I would love to say I am making that up, but no. He doubled down when people were rightfully calling him out. Even other authors, you had black authors speaking up. You had other authors that are women of color. Because he, again, the story is it may be a fiction story, but it's very much, he has said it is a story of how he is processing his own trauma from working, I think he was a registered nurse, I think it was in a maternity ward in a hospital, but he is using this female chimp's character to process his own experiences when he could have just made a story from a character based on himself processing those experiences. But you have tons of people straight up telling him, hey, this is why this is not good. And he is doubling down, being like, well, I don't understand why it's like that. This is clearly not racist at all. It wasn't meant to be. He doubled down on the intent, but this is one of those cases where intention does not change how it is perceived. And this isn't his first time using like a female character's experience to process his own trauma, because another book that he is also promoting is about a really real story, an actual real story of women going through traumatic experiences during the Holocaust. And he claims he's doing that and telling that story to process his own trauma. So this isn't his first rodeo. This is his first rodeo doing that with a fiction story. Because this isn't one of those stories where it's like, oh yeah, no, the main character just happens to be female. So understandably, it would be their experience. It would be a female experience. But no, this is literally him using a woman character to process his own trauma by using experiences he wouldn't have actually experienced himself. But getting back to his whole responses to everyone, rightfully and understandably calling him out, including authors of color and other authors in general. This is where it gets to the Canadian side of it, because he really doubled down on it being like a cultural thing for him not to understand, claiming that you don't understand. You're American. He said this to multiple people, by the way. He claims that because we are not from Canada, it is a cultural thing that we are seeing this the way we are. But then at one point, there was one brief post where he said he spoke to his father, who he emphasized was in the Canadian Navy, because again, it's the Canada of it all, which apparently absolves him of all potential racism. Apparently speaking with him about the situation helped him understand how it could potentially be perceived as racist. But then after that, he just went back to just doubling down on, oh yeah, no, I don't know why this is coming off like that. That wasn't my intention. And again, intent does not negate perception. That doesn't change the perception of things. Because, hi, even as an obviously white author and person, even I immediately clocked that that was not right. But again, I am apparently just an American. Clearly, I don't have a Canadian understanding of things. We are talking about very obvious issues here. Again, this isn't a cultural issue. But as that went on, and as he continued to double down and then push his book about the Holocaust survivors, I hope they survived. I didn't fully read the summary of it, but I would assume if there's a story to tell, but still, just, he went back to pushing that. And then, apparently his publisher dropped him, but then there's also, this hasn't fully been confirmed. I still have yet to see any real confirmation on this, so I'm counting this as alleged, but supposedly one of the publishers involved may be his own brand, but just judging from the publisher's apology compared to his fully standing on his beliefs that nothing was wrong with the promo, I don't believe that the publisher is him, because the publisher fully acknowledged everything, fully apologized. Like, it was a proper apology. Granted, it sounded like an obvious PR apology where it's like they're doing it to save their own ass, but it's still fessed up to more than he has even acknowledged. So there's that. That's another one where I think they removed their social media. Again, I don't know. I might just be blocked. But yeah, his books are no longer being published. A lot of his soon-to-be published books apparently have been, for now, I guess, suspended. So I guess only time will tell on that side of things. And then the final story is about the Handbook app and the account My Handbook app. Now, this is the one where I was just like, I briefly saw the post in question, and I just immediately moved on because the wording of it felt weird, because it started off with, is this a safe space? And it was talking about it being an app for book lovers, and it being a sanctuary, and just the wording threw me off. So I just moved on from it initially, only to find out the day after that, oh yeah, no, there's more to this than just very odd choices of wording for an app promotion. So apparently this situation, the post I saw, the one that started with, is this a safe space? The image of the woman being used was AI generated, but the woman does technically exist, but she wasn't actually... Well, before I say describe the actual... I should describe the picture. It's a black woman in a suit, with the background being the offices of a Penguin Random House, just like office building. It's like the branding and everything. They claim to have been a former employee for Penguin Random House. And apparently, that picture, the woman does exist. But her likeness was fed into AI to generate the office and everything, and her, to make it look like she was formerly a member of Penguin Random House, when apparently she actually wasn't. So then people were claiming on whether or not they were questioning whether or not she was real. But apparently she is real. And she is the founder of this app, but she's the founder alongside, I think it's her husband, because people were questioning whether it was actually a Black-owned business because they didn't know if she was real. But they then responded with a picture of the two of them and their kid, and that's when they admitted to feeding her image to AI. I don't know why they lied about the Penguin Random House thing, but apparently she was never actually a member of Penguin Random House. So I think it's interesting to lie about having worked with one of the big five. But I do still think it's very interesting that it wasn't even what I initially clocked about the post that threw me off, and that is what the issue was. I didn't even initially clock it as AI. I thought it was weird, but at the same time, just like, I mean, you see this stuff happen all the time where it's like former members of companies make their own thing. But again, to me, it was the wording of the post that made me be like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. Because it just felt weird to start the app promo off with, is this a safe space? And then calling the app a sanctuary. But I mean, I'm glad to know that the people are real. I'm just questioning their choices. So, that's bookmarked. Those are the 3 stories for the day. But, if you want to see more videos of me talking about bookish-related drama and stuff like that, I don't want this to become like a full-on commentary channel, but these are stories that have kind of just struck. And, I mean, I was watching them play out to some extent, and I just figured these are things that are better to talk about. They are good examples of what not to do in the publishing sphere, and it's a good example of how not to behave on social media. Because oftentimes, doubling down is not going to help you. And again, as far as I'm aware, each one of these has ended with the social media for these people vanishing. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment on your thoughts on these stories. And did you see any of these playing out when they were happening? So, tell me your thoughts in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is.